Hi guys, it's Lillian the Postmodern Mom. Welcome to another makeup monologue. Today I'm going to be talking about brash feminist attitude. I think there's a misconception about what femininity is, that it's something that you can just put on makeup, have long hair, dress in pinks or something like that, and that's going to make you feminine and not a feminist. But the truth is that there's a lot more to being feminine than just your outward appearance. In fact, you could continue looking more boyish, more androgynous, more masculine, but on the inside be extremely feminine, and that speaks volumes more than your physical appearance. So let's talk about what are those features that you could adopt internally for yourself to be more feminine, and maybe the opposite. What is the opposite of that? Would be that brash feminist attitude. You may have already heard me say and talk a lot about how to be more feminine. So speaking softler, speaking gently, not raising your voice, not getting, easily upset or offended, listening well. And then the big one is respecting and honoring, obeying your husband, showing honor and respect if you're single, showing honor and respect to your father, to your family, before you get married. And in a very traditional way, I think that the best circumstance would be where you show your father honor and respect, which I'm guilty of not having done, and then that transfers over to your husband when you get married. So you never live a life that's without male authority. And I think that's a good thing, and I think a lot of feminists would say that's very bad and very dangerous and very weak for a woman. But the Bible makes it very clear that men are the leaders of their families, and that men are to be like Christ to their wives, and the wives are to be like the church to their husbands. And I'm not going to get into it very much detail, but just to say that having this submissive spirit about you is very important. Now, it doesn't mean that you can never joke around, or you can't be loud sometimes, or that you can't be very talkative. In fact, a lot of women that I know are quite talkative, and they are outgoing like I am, and they enjoy joking around and kind of being buddy and stuff with people, and that's fine. But it doesn't mean that you're not feminine. But I think if you were to speak a little less, speak a little gentler, to not joke around in any distasteful way, to not be so talkative, that if you were to adopt those things, that you would actually increase your femininity. So I know that I don't think I'm the most feminine woman out there, but I know that I am much more feminine today than I was back when we were just dating, 10 years ago. So I'm going to wear my BB cream from the Body Shop. So I think I would say that before I met Felipe, and before I got married and all this, before I became a trad wife, I was a feminist. I was a feminist definitely in thought, and in identity I probably would have said that I believe in equality between men and women, but the main thing that made me so much of a feminist, I think, was my brash attitude. You know, I think I was very self-righteous in thinking that, you know, I'm better. I know the way. I don't need no man to show me. You know, that was my kind of attitude, and that feminist attitude is what makes it so difficult, I think, for women to find good husbands who are masculine, who want to lead. I think when you have a feminist brash attitude of self-importance and of not giving in, of always putting a fight up, then you're not going to get men who are interested in that. You might get men who don't care, who are will just roll over and be like, fine, whatever, I'm going to go play my video games. And no woman really wants that. You know, you may think you want that because you want to be in control, but ultimately, if you're in control, that means you're responsible, and you better take responsibility for when things don't go right your way. And men have this interesting ability to take responsibility, and if they're wrong, to get over it, and they move on, and it's easier for them because they're less emotive like we are. Women are a bit more emotional beings. And that's okay, it's a good thing. But it also just means to me that it's a strength for men to be the leaders. You know, it's easier for them to lead because they have it in them more. So, what is this attitude? This brash feminist attitude stems from making an idol of yourself, that you think you are the best, you think you know better than anyone else. It has an innate sense of pride and very little humility. And I think a very feminine feature that makes women very desirable to men is humility, is being able to say you're wrong, and also not just being wrong, but looking to men for leadership. That is really difficult for most women who grow up in the modern society that say men are bumbling fools and women are perfect. You know, I think that there's this crazy misperception about how men are just useless or something, and that women are the only ones who know what's right and wrong, and who get things done, or who are responsible. Now, that is so false, but it is definitely perpetrated over and over again in our culture today, and it's really difficult to escape because it's there, left, right, and center in our culture and our media. You know, even when women get together just for a social event, what do? They complain about their husbands. And what does that do? That just emasculates them in their own eyes. And I don't want that. And I'm not gonna go and talk bad about my husband to other people. Because I respect him and I want him to be a good leader. And I want to have a good perception of him. This is all to say, you can change your physical appearance, but if you don't change what's on the inside, then you're not going to become feminine. I see a lot of trad wives who call themselves trad wives, who are single for some reason, but they still call themselves trad wives. They agree with the aesthetic. They think it's great that women should wear skirts, dresses, he wants to be heard. Have long hair. But then when it comes to someone telling them that they're wrong about something, they are very quick to disagree. They're very quick to get offended. And I think if you're a more feminine woman, you wouldn't mind so much about being wrong and just walk away with a positive feeling. But unfortunately, there are women who are a bit more brash. And when you don't get rid of that brash attitude, you're really not very feminine, even if you may look the part. I'm going to use this peachy pink today on the bottom because of my shirt. instead of my more flowery pink. This thing, fairly light. Okay, and then I also want to put on my mineral veil. I'll do that at the very end though. Let me do my eyes now. So it's very difficult to change your attitude from a brash feminist attitude to a more feminine, humble attitude, a soft and gentle attitude. So the best way is just to never get to that point. So if you are raising daughters, women, be very careful on how you model femininity to your daughters. Be very careful how you model that to your children. And then for your husband, sometimes you are right and he is wrong, but still to approach a thing femininely is not to have a shouting match, is not to try and show who has the upper hand, but it's really to pray and ask God to show him that he's not right. And how do you do that? I mean, it takes a lot of trust in God to think that, okay, that you're gonna let things go and let your husband make those decisions and let him hear you, but you're not gonna fight over it if he's the one who decides that he wants to do something. It may seem like a really ridiculous thing that he wants to do, but to be a feminine woman means to let him lead and to submit. Even if you think he's leading you the wrong way, as long as it does not break God's law, do it. You know, follow him and obey him. Trust him in these matters. And not only will he reward you for that, but God will reward you for that. But that's the hardest thing, I think, for women these days, is to submit, is to let go. And so that's my main encouragement to you, is to be a feminine lady, to become more feminine. You have to give up on those urges to be right and find yourself more humble and speaking softer and gentler and submitting to your husband. It's not as much about makeup and hair and wearing pretty dresses. It's not as much about that as it is about your attitude. And that is of utmost importance, honing that attitude to a more feminine way. It makes such a big difference when children are not loud, doesn't it? He's just looking out the window now. So thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below and let me know what other topics you'd like me to talk about. As always, I am Lillian, the Postmodern Mom, and I would love it if you just liked or shared this video. Thanks for watching. Bye! I think there's such a joy in keeping a good home, in watching your children grow up, in cooking and cleaning and supporting your husband.